The events of your life were no accident. You have been guided here for a reason. You are exactly where you are for a reason. Now take stock, look around where you are mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You are exactly where you need to be. There is no need to rush. There is no need to compare yourself. Take stock and be grateful for all the things that you've been through, all the things that you've learned thus far. Because if you are here in this video, there's farther to go, there's more to go. But you've also come so far. And I feel like that is such an important topic. This is such an important topic because if you are like me, sometimes you can bypass. You can always look, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And sometimes while we're in the position where we are, we can start to lose sight of what's really important. We can lose sight of the big picture. Because truly, what is the big picture? Okay. I like to record in peace, and so that was just me checking to see if I had the total peace that I need, because peace and privacy, especially about that video I talk about you safeguarding your dreams, especially before they can take off, before they've had the time to be nurtured and grown and stable enough to for everyone to be shown, especially those who may not have wanted you to achieve your dreams. People have laughed at you, people have doubted you. It's very important to safeguard your dreams, blah blah blah, throat chakra, in the beginning. So it's very important to take stock of where you are, because at one point you prayed to get here. This is a position that you prayed for. Oh, Faith, I didn't pray for no dead-end job where, I'm saying, I couldn't move up and da-da-da-da-da. At one point, you did. You went on this interview, and you may not have known everything that came with the job, but it's something that you prayed for, it's something that you wanted, it's something that you aspired to, or else you wouldn't have applied. Even if it's a job where you feel like, hey, this was a last minute, whoop to skip to do so I could pay my bills. You needed it, right? So you could pay your bills, so you could have water, so you could have food, so you can keep your car. So at one point, just take stock of where you are, because I think a lot of times, we get ahead of ourselves, and I feel like gratitude is always a great way, or just reflection, self-reflection, deep reflection, true reflection, because I've heard a message like this, but I don't know, I think it's just different. I think I can always give the message differently. It's not that I'm copying word for word. It's just truly like from my experience. This is what I've been experiencing over these past couple days. So this YouTube thing can be very confusing. The spiritual path and the spiritual journey is very winding, and it's never ending. And I am coming from a person who has went to a 4-year college, graduated, and became a nurse. That was a set period of time. I had set period, they give you a syllabus at the beginning of each class. You know what you have to do, you know what you don't have to do. And now, I've thrust myself, Spirit has thrust me into this career where, there is no set time, there is no set syllabus, there is no set things that you do, and it is throwing me for a loop. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I get really frustrated with this process of social media creating, especially because it is literally in my destiny to not do what everyone else is doing. I am not supposed to be beating the algorithm with my videos. So this is just like a personal thing that I can show you that I'm working through, that what helped me was looking back at nursing, looking back at the job I just left, and even that was a job that I prayed for. I prayed every day of my last contract to never have to do nursing again. Like, I hated that job. I hated it with every fiber of my being. And this is something I love. It's just more unclear. It's just more up in the air. It's more what I make it, what I created. It's more a co-partnership, because in nursing I was doing it all by myself. I knew it. It was such a physical job, but this is such a spiritual practice that it takes source. It takes my angels, my ancestors here with me. And there's a level of control, there's a level of relinquishing, there's a level of vulnerability of me being here, me doing my part, and then giving it up spiritually to be like, hey, may this reach who this needs to reach. May this find who it needs to find. And it takes patience and it takes faith. Not, oh, once I get to this mark, I'm gonna blow up. Because let me tell you, this is like my third or fourth YouTube channel. I've tried to do many different things. I've even done Reiki for like 10 months straight, and that was not the way to go. So this is me starting all over. And I think a lot of times in life, like, it can be like super frustrating and it can be super disheartening if you don't keep stock of all of these things in your mind. Like, you know what, this is a blessing. I get to spend so much time with my children. I get to live in my true essence. Does it take courage? Does it take bravery? Does it take determination? Yes, it takes all those things to keep doing the thing that you were made to do, not what you were told to do. Sometimes it's easier to be told, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. But when you're made to do something, it comes from you. It comes from spirit. And I'm here to tell you, wherever you are, even if you haven't branched off from that job yet, even if you're still kind of in that life of being told what to do, you are exactly where you need to be. Because it takes getting fed up. It takes realizing, wait, this is not what I wanted. This is not serving me. This is not fulfilling me. This is not where I want my life to keep going. I want to make a change. I was in nursing for 4.5, almost 5 years before I realized. They say by the time you work 5 years in a profession, that's when you become a master. 5 years seems pale in comparison to 30 years, 20 years, 25 years nursing, but it only takes 5 years. According to, somebody telling you what to do, and then the practice and the experience and everything. But who knows here? Who knows? I've been doing this for 2 years, and I believe that this is it, but it's taken me 2 years to even get to the part where it's like, okay, this is it. You have to be gentle with yourself. You have to have a deeper understanding of how life goes. You have to have patience and faith. You have to have faith in yourself that you can get through, that you can do this, that you're worthy of this. You have to have a faith in the divine that, hey, you're not doing this alone. That you don't have to put out, for me, again, I don't have to put out 50 videos a day, 6 videos a day, 50 videos in a week, 20, 25 videos in a week. I don't have to be on here every day for my message to be worthy enough to get out. It's worthy just because of the message, and I leave it in the divine's hands to get it out. And if it's time for me to rest, I honor my body. I honor my internal schedule. To be like, hey, I've been working too much. I need to take a break. And then let's just get right back into it. But not to approach that with any type of, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to have that feeling inside, because I think a lot of times we misunderstand what gratefulness is or ungratefulness is, what that is. Because sometimes it can feel like internal resistance. It can feel like disappointment. it can feel like it's you changing. When you are in the midst of change, when you are in the midst of doing something new, when you are in the midst of realizing really profound things, when you are in the midst of really accepting your journey, it can feel scary. Because the easiest thing to do is to denial and be like, you know what, that's not where I want to be, da 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 da, right? Either you're busy denying where you are, or you're busy focusing on where you want to be. But sometimes the best part is just to be present. Okay, this is where I am right now. And this is where I'm supposed to be because this is where I am. This is all about truly believing that your life was destined, that your life is that you're looked after and you're loved, and things just doesn't happen by random. I had so much problems in nursing. My first ever nursing job, the neuro ICU, did not go as planned. And then the second one, right immediately after that, blew up in my face. It was a terrible um, story of heartbreak and betrayal. It was terrible. One of the most heartbreaking things a person can, especially after going to school for 4 years, one of the most heartbreaking things a person can experience. But I got myself back up, and I got back into nursing. You know, I found different jobs, and each one I've never had besides no, besides the time I was pregnant. It was a nursing contract. Excuse me. I'm a little sick. My old baby got me sick. Got a little cough. But besides my first contract, I've yeah, my second contract, because my first one, I ended up quitting, and then they said that they that I left in the middle of a cold. Anyways, it was my second ever contract, and I was extended, and even they were doing shady stuff there. It was like, just, I've never been at a contract more than 3 months. So during those 4 to 5 years, I was just hopping from hospital to hospital, to contract to contract to contract to contract. It just was never working out for me. It just, I never felt safe. I never felt welcomed. I never felt like this was a home. I was increasingly frustrated by the things that I saw, by what I started to learn, what the medical field was, what nursing was. And it's a bunch of high school girl bully type, cliquey, weird. It's a lot of weird characters in the professional field. You think they're loving and they're caring. They're not. And some of them are so burnt out. Even the ones who just started, they start to quickly take after the ones, they just get in where they fit in and just fall in line. If, you know, they just follow after the best person they see sometimes. And if there's no one who's the best, who really truly cares, and oftentimes that's no one, then they just model themselves after what they see instead of doing their own thing. So I was wondering, I say all that to say, I used to wonder, like, why isn't anything working out for me? Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I almost killed myself for. Like I used to drop my weight. I had a lot of panic attacks in college. Some of that was spiritual attacks, but a lot of that was just misalignment. I was receiving signs for a long time that I just ended up pushing through because I wanted to be a nurse so badly. And I used to always feel like, and even when I left it, sometimes when I first left and decided I didn't want to do nursing, I had this feeling of like, dang, I wasted all those years, 9 years of my life going to college, a lot of hard experiences, 4.5 years of being a nurse for nothing. But it wasn't for nothing. Because if I didn't know that I didn't want to do nursing, If I didn't know that the 9 to 5 wasn't for me, that the clocking in wasn't for me, then I would have never picked this. This was never on my mind to do social media. I never thought until that last year of nursing that I would be a social media content creator. This isn't something that I thought. So all of your experiences are always leading you to the next thing. Don't ever think something is a waste of time. I've had a lot of bad experiences with friends, with family. And I used to think like, I'm so unlucky. I am so alone. No one's choosing me. No one, you know, I can't keep a friend. And it's not even that I couldn't keep it. I would end up walking away from them because I always realized that was not the love that I deserved. That's not the love that I'm giving you. You aren't reciprocating what I'm giving to you. And there was this one girl in college, I almost got put out of university. I could have got put out of university because of her. But it was also because of myself. And I've never told this story in this way, but I was giving to her the love that I wanted for myself. And when she couldn't reciprocate that love, that's when things went really sour. Things went really sour. She couldn't, reciprocate the loyalty, the care, the trust. When that wasn't reciprocated, that's when a big altercation happened. It was a big, long, it was drawn out, but it really did. And that showed me now, finally looking back, finally healed, right? Because I've told that story many different ways over the years. But this is the first time that I'm really like, because even I used to take responsibility for it. I used to blame myself for some of the things that I didn't like in my life. Oh, if I just knew that sooner. Oh, if I had just paid attention to that red flag. If I paid attention to this red flag. Oh, that could have been my fault. No, but that was her fault. Like, it was always a blame game. And sometimes I did take some of the blame. But honestly, it's not that I'm not taking the blame. I'm not taking blame. I'm taking accountability. The love that I gave a lot of people in my relationships that didn't work out, whether that be friends, family, or whatever, I was giving them what I should have been giving myself. And only through those painful, heartbreaking experiences. And I'm not saying everything has to be hard. Everything doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to learn the hard way. But there is even a reason why I've learned it verbatim wisdom. Because I feel like everything has led me to this moment, me here speaking to you. Because you don't want to hear somebody with borrowed knowledge, with borrowed wisdom. And wisdom comes through experience. I feel like I need to be a speaker. I know I was destined to be a speaker who speaks from actual experiences. Because there's a depth and there's an authenticity that comes with really knowing what it is that I'm speaking on, to living it. So you have to be patient. You have to be gracious with yourself. You have to be really thankful for spirit, for what they turned you away from. And for how your life has gone, because I have been taught that I wasn't giving myself the love, that over and over and over again. And then that this society conditions us to believe that we have to love somebody before we even learn to love ourselves. Self-love wasn't a thing in 2015. Maybe it was, but I wasn't hip up on it. Self-love didn't start becoming a thing to 2020, 2021, 2022. So the self-love thing really started becoming mainstream. So before that, I was thinking I needed somebody to love. I needed a friend. I needed a family member. I needed a boyfriend. I needed someone to give all this love that was sitting in my heart. And maybe if I give the love that was sitting in my heart, I will receive the love that I've been needing so bad. But finally, looking here today, I am receiving the love that I have always given out, and it feels good. It looks good. And also, let me tell you, anything that didn't work out was always in your favor. Anything that may have disappointed you was always saving you from something worse, something else, something that you really truly didn't want to experience. And even if you had experiences that you didn't like, that you truly didn't want to experience, they were always some sort of lesson in that. And that can be hard to swallow, and that can be hard to take note of, and that can be hard to take stock of, and it can be hard to really truly be grateful and gracious and learn gratitude. But you will. Just sit back and really think about those people, those places that did not work out. What you know about it then, what you know about yourself now, that you're like, you know what, I really didn't like that job. That really wouldn't have worked. Oh my goodness. She really was playing me to the side a little bit. Like, I didn't even realize, like, or you start to realize what people have really thought about you, you know? You're like, whoa, she really, oh, best friend this, best friend that. She really ain't with me like that. Like, she really liked me to be the little, you know, off to the side. Because she was a person who apparently she used to have to defend me in high school. And it's not that, like, I was bullied or anything like that. Like, I just wasn't with them popular girls. I didn't have a bunch of money. I was really about in my own lane. And once I saw that you were a mean girl or something like that, like, I separated myself energetically. So that kind of drew a lot of, not hate, because I was never bullied. Nobody ever came to me. But it really, like, it was like, oh, her. Oh, Faith. Oh, I'm sure of it. Because there'd be times where I'd be like, go ahead about my business. So she used to always say, oh yeah, Faith, and I defend you from this person. So when we got to college, and it was nobody to defend me from, she still wanted me to be off to the side, you know? Thinking about it, like, she never invited me out with her girlfriends, like, when it came time for parties and things like that. And that we only became really close friends because I was the only one who showed any type of semblance of caring. Like, I gave her what I needed in her time of need. When everybody else abandoned her, I showed her so much love and loyalty. You know, she was moved halfway across the country and just dropped off with some relatives that she didn't really know like that. And I was the only one that kept in touch, basically. And, you know, that love, that loyalty, that amount of dedication, it was never reciprocated for me, you know? And I thought her just defending me to her friends, I thought that was it at the time. But that wasn't. That was surface level. You know, she still was friends with them. Like, it just didn't amount to what I actually did for her. And looking back now, I just realized that. I just was like, yeah, but that's why she did what she did in college, when we got to college in the first place. That's why we ended up falling out in the first place, because she didn't truly respect me as an individual. She didn't truly respect me as a friend. She thought that I was just deep down, you know? People can be all hippy-dippy in your face, but it's when the actions matters. Like, what did she show me? So then when I showed her, like, okay, I wasn't tripping about even being your friend like that, when she realized that I wasn't as desperate and that my whole life didn't revolve around being her friend like she thought, you know, it became really ugly, you know? But I just appreciate that, because that taught me so much about people, about relationships, about friendships. It actually closed me off for a really long time, because we ended up getting in a physical altercation on camera. You know what I'm saying? I was impulsive back then. and we had to go to anger management. I almost got put out. I could have got put out. But this is the first time that I've told this story so differently, that it was such a divinely guided conflict. That all that all the good in life doesn't come from positive experiences. It doesn't come from positive emotions. That you have to trust and be grateful for the process and the journey that you are on. That the negativity, that the nights where you cried your eyes out, those experiences where somebody, confirmation burp, I usually don't get those, where somebody didn't make you feel so good. That taught you not to bully people, not to think that that's cute. That has made you the integritous person that you are today. Maybe getting in trouble when you were younger for stealing the candy bar. Now you know not to steal when you're older, right? Now you know. Now you know. You know what I'm saying? That movie that rocked you to your core, it steered you away from something, but it didn't feel so pretty, and this is not something that you actually went through, but sometimes movies can teach us something. Like, a lot of people watch Boys in the Hood and they really just go in one ear and out the other, but some people watch Boys in the Hood and be like, you know what, that movie, that can never be me. I can't do that. I can't do that. You know what? Set it off. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You really look at how stuff can transpire. Like, you know what? I can't do that. That ain't for me. But if you never maybe saw those movies, you never was exposed to that, to those tragic events, these things that you hear about, these real experiences, your experiences, you wouldn't know. So you may think, because the mind makes up all types of stuff. Every social, not every, but a lot of content creators think, oh yeah, certain amount of videos I'm gonna blow up, certain amount of this I'm gonna blow up, and it always does not turn out like that, you know. And some of it may be saving, some of it is like, you know what, this is not actually what you were supposed to be doing. Sometimes it's like you wouldn't even like to have to do that for the rest of your life anyway. You see a lot of social media or a lot of like creatives out in the world, like, for example, Ice Spice. She got tired of shaking her booty, but that's what she used to make herself stand out, right? But then she got stuck in that. She got stuck in that genre because that's all she was doing. So it got to a point where, she would come to a concert and she trying to spit her rhymes, you know what I'm saying? She trying to do what she came here creatively to really do. And all people wanted to see her do was shake some, shake some, shake some. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, because she really didn't want to do it. She was stuck in that. So sometimes it doesn't work out for people. And sometimes some people are examples for others. And maybe, she doesn't see it, but maybe she can look back and be like, you know what? That's probably a lot of girls that has looked at me, has looked at that video, or has, she'll speak out about it or something like that. And be like, you know what? I'm glad I can teach the young girls that what you present yourself as, sometimes you get locked into that. So be careful about how you present yourself from the jump, because you don't want to be doing something gimmicky and be stuck doing that gimmick forever. Be stuck as the clown in the circus, stuck as Pennywise. Or me, like, for example, I was doing Reiki. It took so much energy to do the Reiki. Oh my gosh, Reiki takes so much energy to truly heal people, not just to be up there, to truly give my energy, to truly, oh my gosh, that really drained me. And to do that for the rest of my life, I have literally been led away from not giving people my energy. And I literally was trying to do the Reiki to give people my energy. It's like, that's not the way I'm supposed to heal people. I'm supposed to heal people doing what comes easily, what comes naturally, what literally I've been training my whole life to do, which is speak about the experiences that I've experienced long as I've been alive, because I've had some experiences. So it really does all come together. Like, I don't know what you're going through, I don't know what you've been through, but today I want you to take stock and reflect. What have you been through? What are some of the most, um, I don't want to say jarring, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but what are some of the most maybe disappointing instances that you've been through where things didn't work out, that you thought, things didn't go the way you planned? And really look and try to see the beauty of it. Shift your focus, shift on how you're looking at things. I'm not saying put on rose colored glasses. I'm just saying really look at the real of it. What were you saved from? Instead of what was taken from you, what were you saved from? Because it's there. And then you can appreciate your journey. You can trust your journey. Is that a little, I thought that was a raccoon. It's a big old squirrel. But you can really trust and savor your journey. You can be like, you know what? I might have to be a little flexible, but I'm like a tree that's grown up in captivity, which is basically not outside. Inside of, that's why those tree farms, eventually they have to put them outside. They have to put them outside really quickly, actually, after they get a certain height. Because if not, once they plant them, they'll topple over really quickly. The wind is what strengthens a tree. And if a tree never experiences wind, it won't be strong. So those experiences were your wind. It's helping you to bend, but not break. So I came on here, I didn't know. I haven't made a video in a while. I was really nervous. And sometimes I was feeling a little disappointed at first and a little frustrated because I'm like, there is no set plan. It's like Spirit woke me up and was like, do a video. When, a week ago I tried to do a video and Spirit gave me a hard stop. And I'm just like, for a second I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, like, am I ever gonna get this right? Like, but it does. It gets easier. You'll start to learn. If you do a lot of reflection on why Spirit even told me to stop. I did reflection on why Spirit told me to stop. And I wasn't in balance. There wasn't a balance. There wasn't a full surrender. Because since then, I fully surrendered to be like, you know what? I am not doing this of my own accord, my own power. I was guided to this. This is my sole purpose, which means I really it's like 80-20. It's a partnership. It's not 50-50. I'm not doing 50-50 of this. Like, if I really want this to work, I just show up and I speak about what I've already been through. And then I let Spirit take care of the rest. I don't come on here and make 1,000 videos. I don't come on here every day. When I'm not on here, I'm living life. I'm playing. I'm not constantly thinking about this, whether this is going to hit or not, because I need the financial freedom and da-da-da. No, I'm supposed to be doing this for the reason I'm supposed to be doing this, which is to help people heal. And then when you start to think about other stuff, because other stuff can come with it, again, it's like, what am I really doing this for? I have to like go back to the root, to the core. So you step away for a little bit and then you come back. And then you give it up again. Because maybe my financial freedom won't even come from this. Maybe that blessing that I'm looking for won't even come from this. So just trust that my life is unfolding how it needs to. It's hard. It's hard. That's a tall tale, but I promise y'all can do it. You take it day by day. You sit, you reflect, you live your life. You embrace gratitude, which is being thankful for what you've experienced and what you haven't experienced. Because we are so focused on the bad that we've experienced, the heartbreaks that we have experienced, we don't even take stock of what we have been saved from, what we have been redirected from. Of being a 20-year-old nurse, being depressed, being like all those other nurses, burnt out, hating their job, taking it out on the patients, So now you're not helping, you're harming every single day. That's some karma racking up because of your own unhappiness. So I hope you guys like this. Share it, subscribe, please. If you would love to see more videos, turn on your notifications, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know what in your life, take a moment and think, and then leave a comment. Be like, you know what, Faith? You right, because it was this job that I left, and when I left that job, or when I got fired from that job, I didn't understand. I was tripping by my bills, and then I found me a better one, sweetie. Because I had a couple nursing jobs like that where they just abruptly ended my contract, and then I found a better contract. We moving on up. So I really appreciate it. This helps get content out. I'm doing my little shameless plug here because at first I didn't think this was necessary. I would just let you guys, but it's like, if you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed on this boulevard. I'm also giving it up to spirit, ancestors, spirit, source, the universe, Mother Gaia. You know what I'm saying? I got them all. They all stacked. Dragons, they all stacked. I got a whole plethora of help. But I need your help too. May this video find who it needs to, and the time that it needs to. Not on my time, but on your time.